I have planted a lot of blueberry plants throughout the years, and I've made some mistakes in what I've done, and I've also learned a lot. And what I've learned is the most important thing you can do when planting blueberry plants is to prepare the soil well in advance before you plant them. And I'm going to show you how I do that. So blueberries like really loamy, acidic soil. So what I have done is I take a bunch of wood chips, ideally a really fine fir wood chip or pine because it's a little more acidic. But I've just used wood chips also just from landscapers, and I till them into the soil a year in advance, or at least mound them up really high, and then let it sit and decompose for a year, and you get that nice loamy acidic soil, and then you plant your blueberries. So if you just bought a blueberry plant, I would probably leave it in the pot. They do fine in pots, especially if they have wood chips in the pot. Leave it in there for a year, prep your soil now, and then plant it a year from now. When I've planted directly in the ground without prepping, even if I add a little bit of wood chips to the hole, the blueberries just have not grown as well. So do what I'm doing here, let it sit for a year, have the patience, and your plants are going to grow a lot faster when they do grow. And if you leave them in a pot for a year, they're probably going to grow a lot in the pot too. So you're not really any worse off. This is a spot at the end of my blueberry row here that I put these wood chips down probably about 2 years ago, and I tilled them into the soil pretty well. You'd probably want to do this at least a year in advance. First of all, you can see that the chips are starting to decompose, which is exactly what you want. So put on your paint Crocs and get digging. Nice thing about this is it also is pretty easy to dig once you put in these wood chips. Even with paint Crocs, you can dig it. So I'm planting these two pretty close because they're Hannah's Choice variety, and those are pretty upright plants, and so they can be pretty close together. You want to make sure and bury this a little below the pot line. Blueberries can handle getting a little bit of dirt around their trunk or stem. And you can see this stuff is just nice and loamy here. Again, okay to pile it up a little bit around it. And when I'm done with this, I'll definitely want to protect it with a cage, otherwise this little stem will get eaten by rabbits around here. Then I like to throw a little fine fir bark dust on top, but any chips are fine. Generally, the finer stuff that you use in the better, it'll decompose quicker. But these were free wood chips from a landscaper, so I use what I got. But this stuff is ideal, or sawdust is also very ideal. So then once you've planted your plant, make sure and protect it from wildlife. I just use some chicken wire cage, keep the bunny rabbits out. Some water. And get your watering system set up. Blueberries like to be watered and fertilized from all the way around if you can do it. I just put a dripper on each side, but there's probably a better way to do it. But just make sure they're getting plenty of water early on. That's it. So just, again, if you have blueberry plants, prep the soil a year in advance if you can. They're going to grow a lot faster. I've done the opposite before, and my blueberries just don't grow for years and years. So do it this way. If this was helpful, please go ahead and hit the like button or subscribe to my channel if you want to see more. Well, see you later.